we are almost at the fag end of the International Year of Millets. Will I stop eating millets after December 2023? Of course not. If you ask me, this is the best time to self-motivate yourself to make millets a part of your everyday diet. In that sense, millet recipes from Munch and Mull will continue to be relevant to everybody, everywhere. I'm excited to collaborate with SNV Millets based out of Canada to get you some more insights on millet and of course some very simple, delicious and interesting millet recipes. Though the recipes are relevant for anybody across the world, if you happen to be from Canada or USA, this series of 4 videos will be particularly relevant to you. So keep watching until the mull point at the end of the video. So what's cooking today? It is my ultra easy version of veg millet biryani using foxtail millets from SNV Millets. But there is much more. You will discover the amazing health benefits of foxtail millet and also the difference between what a pulav and biryani is. But before that, I must share something more about the sponsors for this video, SNV Millets. SNV Millet is a millet retail venture set up by a father-son duo, Sam Satyamurthy and Vignesh. They are based in Toronto, Canada. Sam and Vignesh came upon Munch and Mull videos and were excited to collaborate with us. The inspiration for this millet business was the result of a dramatic weight loss experience that both Sam and Vignesh had simply by adopting a complete and sustained diet of millets. I was personally extremely inspired by their entire journey, which you can also discover in this Sustainability Spotlight podcast. SNV Millets is an importer and distributor of a very wide range of millet products ranging from unpolished millet grains to millet flours, millet flakes, millet rava and even ready to cook millet products. If you are based in Canada or the USA, you could order any of these products online from their website. Currently, you will also find SNV Millet products in 100 plus retail stores across the Ontario province in Canada. But they are actively working in expanding their presence in the rest of Canada and United States. Now, let's get into this amazingly flavorful dish, biryani. Of course, veg biryani is what I mean. A simple question for you. What's the difference between a pulav and a biryani? Let me explain it to the best of my understanding. Many people use the word biryani and pulav interchangeably. Some people believe that if meat is used, it is biryani, but if vegetables are used, the same dish is called a pulav. Both of these are incorrect. Historically, the roots of biryani seem to be Persian in origin. That is where Iran is today. However, there is also apparently some reference to a similar dish in the Mahabharata, but this is not well proven. Pulav, earlier called Pulav, reportedly finds its origin in Turkey. The most fundamental biryani versus pulav difference is in the spices used. Biryani is kind of heavy with spices. Spices used include ginger, mint, cardamom, cinnamon, bay leaf, clove, coriander, chili peppers, etc. Many combinations of vegetables are used to make a veg biryani. The biryani is colored by the spices used. Pulav, on the other hand, is very subtle with a light aroma of very few spices like cardamom, bay leaf, cloves, cinnamon and fennel. So the color of the pulav is given by the color of the grain used. The cooking process also is different. The traditional biryani is a slow cooking process. On the other hand, there is no pre-cooking or slow cooking involved in making a pulav. If you want details of how to make a millet pulav, you should watch this Kodo millet pulav recipe after watching this recipe. By the way, all Munch and Mull millet recipe videos are listed under the recipe section of the SNV Millet website. Of course, Munch and Mull millet recipes are more or less Indian recipes. but SNV Millets have done a wonderful compilation of international cuisine millet recipes on their website. Come, let's make our millet veg biryani using foxtail millet from SNV Millets. In today's fast-paced times, probably we need a simple method, maybe using a pressure cooker. So here, let me first cut open this pack. Let me take 1 cup of foxtail millet. Now let's look at the ingredients required to make our millet veg biryani. I've taken a cup of foxtail millet. The vegetables are a cup of carrot, beans, cauliflower, half a cup of peas, and these are the things that I am going to be grinding. That is 1 medium-sized tomato chopped, a fistful of mint leaves, fistful of coriander leaves, a teaspoon of grated ginger, 1 green chili. So this we will grind. Coming to the spices, I've taken bay leaf, cloves, cardamom and cinnamon sticks, half a cup of plain yogurt or curd. Vegans can substitute it for coconut milk, and I've taken 2 tablespoons of clarified butter or ghee. Again here vegans can substitute it with any plant-based edible oil. Salt to taste. I've taken a teaspoon of jaggery powder or raw cane sugar. Now this basically helps to enhance the flavors of the herbs and the spices. I generally do not use onions and garlic in my cooking, so that is missing here. So you could add onions and garlic and even use potatoes. And also different people make biryani using different spices, but these are the general vegetables and spices that I use to make my veg biryani. So now we will rinse this foxtail millet in water, and then I will soak it for about 2 to 3 hours in water. Dr. Khadarwali, who is the millet man of India, he recommends soaking. You can even soak it overnight, but it is optional. You can even cook it without soaking. So here I've rinsed the foxtail millet and put it for soaking. While this soaks, let's grind our herbs. So let me add this tomato. Let me just chop this green chili, the ginger, coriander and mint. Some shreds left. Just grind this again. So here's the mint, coriander, ginger, tomato mix. We'll keep this aside. So now it's 3 hours since I have soaked the foxtail millet, and now I'm going to drain the water and use the same water for cooking. Basically, Dr. Khadarwali recommends using the soaked water for cooking. So here we go. Let me light the gas, and I've taken a pressure pan. So here I'm going to sim the flame. Very easy and simple to make, and very suitable for working women and professionals. So here first I'm adding the clarified butter or ghee. A little extra ghee gives a lovely taste to the biryani. So I'm raising the flame. Let the ghee get heated. So the ghee is heated and I've simmed the flame, and now let me put the bay leaf first. Here goes the cinnamon, here go the clove, and I have slightly crushed the cardamoms. Let's just saute this, and now here goes the ground herbs. Here. I cannot imagine biryani without mint and coriander. So let this simmer for some time, and the raw smell has to go. So I've kept this on high flame. Let the masala cook for some time. This is what gives the flavor to the biryani. These are the spices and herbs that I add. You can add your version of spices and herbs. Onion and garlic can also be added. Now you can see that this masala has started to leave the sides of the pan. So I'm going to sim the flame and add the vegetables one by one. So here goes the carrot, the cauliflower, the beans and the peas. You could even add potatoes. So give this a good mix. Let them get coated with the masala, and at this juncture I'm adding the yogurt, half cup. Wow, what an aroma. I'm really feeling hungry. Let the vegetables get cooked in the spices and yogurt for about 2 to 3 minutes. I have raised the flame and I'm going to just close this for a minute. So here you can see that masala and the vegetables are nicely mixed. And now it's time to add our foxtail millet. So let me give it a stir. Again, keep it closed for about 2 minutes before we add water. So now I am lowering the flame. You can see that it's boiling. It's time to add our water. For 1 cup of millet, I'm adding about 2.5 glasses of water because already half cup of yogurt is there. So here we go. This is the water in which the millets were soaked. So it's nutrient rich. 1, 2, and it's less than 2.5. I'm just adding little jaggery powder, a tinge of sweetness, but it helps enhance the flavors, and salt. Let me give it a stir. At this stage, what you can do is you can taste a little bit of this water so that you can adjust the salt. It's always better to add less salt and then add more before cooking. Now we're going to be pressure cooking this on a high flame for 3 whistles and then we can switch it off. So 3 whistles are done. I'm switching off the gas, and once the cooker cools, we'll open it. So here this is cooled. So let me remove this. There we are. Here, gently. Yeah, foxtail millet biryani is ready. Hot and aromatic. So here let me garnish this foxtail millet biryani with some chopped fresh coriander and mint leaves. So here I have made some cucumber raita to go with my foxtail millet biryani. It's time to taste my foxtail millet veg biryani. Amazing. You should try it. Here are 2 pro tips for you. Number 1. If you like your biryani to be very dry, then you may have to undergo a small trial and error process because the vegetables and the curd that you have, they also have water in it. So don't hesitate to try the recipe for a couple of times till you get that consistency right. And don't give up at your first trial. Pro tip number 2. You can use the same method of making veg millet biryani using the other minor millets that SNV millets offer. For example, kodo, barnyard, little millet, brown top, etc. Why do you think I'm suggesting the use of millets in recipes like biryani, which is traditionally a rice-based recipe? Shall we mull over this? Our bodies have evolved to receive a very gradual influx of glucose after a meal. But today's typical global meals, they raise the blood sugar almost immediately after a meal. One obvious reason for this is the consumption of extremely high levels of refined white sugar. But that's not all. Another important reason is the overwhelmingly large consumption of refined carbohydrates in the form of white polished rice or white refined flour, which is also called as all-purpose flour, or maida, which is essentially ultra-refined wheat flour. What is missing here is fiber. When the diet is adequately rich in fiber, it helps in the gradual release of glucose in the bloodstream. And that is where millets score high. Just have a look at this table to compare the fiber levels of various millets versus white polished rice. The magic of millets is well substantiated by scientific research. Let us take our today's hero, foxtail millet, as an example. I have come across research that clearly say that a foxtail millet diet is extremely good for diabetics. Just check this out. There are 3 studies that clearly point to the benefit of foxtail millet for diabetes. One study compared foxtail millet dosa with rice dosa. The study found that the glycemic index of foxtail millet dosa is lower compared to rice dosa. This automatically leads to a significant reduction in the after-food glucose level of those eating the foxtail millet dosa. The second Chinese clinical trial studied the impact of regular use of a steamed foxtail millet bread over a 3-month period on type 2 diabetes patients. Intake of 50 grams of foxtail millet per day resulted in significant reduction of blood glucose. A third trial in India studied the effect on sugar levels and cholesterol by use of foxtail millet biscuits and burfi over a 2-month period. Here too, the results showed around 20% reduction in sugar and LDL cholesterol. The interesting observation was that good cholesterol increased by 23%. What's the key takeaway from this Mull point? One of the simplest way to improve dietary fiber is to replace white polished rice and all-purpose flour with millets and millet flours. The icing on the cake. All SNV millet products are unpolished, and that is even better. So, do visit the website of SNV Millets for a whole lot of information for free, and the website link is given in the description box below. If you like this video, what's the next step? Press on that like button and share this video with as many people as possible, the people whom you care for. And if you have still not subscribed to Munch and Mull, it's high time, isn't it, to click on that subscribe button? See you soon in the next video of this series. Hey, have you subscribed to Munch and Mull? Do click on the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive notifications of my newest videos uploaded every Saturday.